गाता चल मिल जाएंगे राम। राम नाम का अलख जगाता चल मिल जाएंगे राम। राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल।
राम सिया राम, जय जय राम सिया राम।
जो जीवन का सार समझ ले जीवन उसका है। जर्रा निकाले जो माटी सब कंचन उसका है। जर्रा निकाले जो माटी सब कंचन उसका है। परतें हटाता चल मन को सजाता चल। परतें हटाता चल मन को सजाता चल मिल जाएंगे राम। राम नाम का अलख जगाता चल मिल जाएंगे राम। राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल मिल जाएंगे राम। राम नाम का अलख जगाता चल मिल जाएंगे राम। राम धुन गाता चल, 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 राम धुन गाता चल।
राम सिया राम, जय जय राम सिया राम। 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 राम सिया राम, जय जय राम सिया राम।
अमर है राम भरत का प्यार। अमर है राम भरत का प्यार। राम भरत की गाथा होगी जब तक है संसार। अमर है राम भरत का प्यार। अमर है राम भरत का प्यार। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Together we chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verses 11 to 20.
यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितं यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानः नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजः जगद्भासयतेऽखिलम् यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधीः सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टः मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यः वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहम् द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः यो मामेवमसम्मूढः जानाति पुरुषोत्तमम् स सर्वविद् भजति माम् सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तं मया नघ एतद्बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत.
We have been studying one of the most difficult portions of the Bhagavad Gita, which is Purushottama Yoga. And of this chapter, the most difficult part are these last few verses where he refers to himself as the Purushottama. He says there is a Shara, there is an Akshara, and there is him who is Purushottama. Now, this throws most students of the philosophy off because now where has he posited this third being from? We always talk about the two beings, the matter and the spirit. So various philosophers have sort of interpreted this verses and created something. Some people say there's no Turiya, there is a fifth now. I mean, all sorts of things people are saying. However, if you carefully understand what he's talking about, you will see that he's doing what he always does. He's been doing it throughout the text, which is all the time saying the same thing in a different manner. And the different manner, you have to just pause a little and see that it's the same thing. In fact, it's one of Shankara's, sort of pillars on which he claims Advaita stands. That all the Upanishads say the same thing, all the scriptures say the same thing. And if you see any differences, because you are not seeing it correctly. So everybody is saying the same thing. Now, obviously, within a text, at least we must accept that it's the same thing. I can't suddenly change his mind halfway through the text. So what is he trying to get at? So he is explaining God, as many people, many sages and saints in the past have done, in three stages. That is why many religions have the concept of Trinity. Even Christianity has the Trinity, which is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And you'll be able to see how it all equates so beautifully. So let's go through this thing. In the world, there is Kshara. Kshara means the perishable. Underlying that perishable is the imperishable. And the Uttama Purusha is that which is beyond. Beyond means far vaster than even the imperishable, in the sense that the imperishable you're only seeing as a contrary to the perishable. But the Uttama Purusha, the entire imperishable, is much bigger, much vast. So we did 2-3 examples last time. Suppose you are in a building, 42nd story in New York, and a small child asks you, what is clay? How will you explain? So you look at some clay pots and you say, that is clay. Okay, so there's a red, blue, green, 3 colors over there. And you say, these 3 pots, they're clay. The child looks at those 3 pots, sees they're red, blue, and green, sees that they have a particular shape, a particular size, and decides that that shape, that size, that color is clay. To which you say, no, I think you've misunderstood this. This is not clay. That which is the foundation or the substratum of these is the clay. In other words, if you break these pots, what will remain is the clay. So you don't understand, it's too abstract. So you break those pots and you show, see, this is clay. Now the child thinks, suppose the child is asked by somebody in school, what is clay? What will that child do? The child will say, come to my house, I will show you clay. Because the child's concept of clay is only that thing which was the substratum of those pots. Therefore, you tell the child, this is just the substratum of these pots. Come to India, the whole country is full of this clay. This was example number 1. Example number 2 was about the mirage. Imagine a person looking at a mirage and asking you, where is the desert? To which you point to the mirage and say, that's the desert. Now, the person thinks that water which he's seeing is the desert. So say, no. That mirage that you're seeing, the water that you're seeing, that's not the desert. Desert has no water. That which is the substratum, that which is the foundation of that mirage is the desert. So then that person has another misunderstanding, which is that only what is below that mirage is the desert. I say, no, look all around. The desert is much vaster than what is the substratum of that mirage. So this is the concept of Shara, Akshara, Uttama Purusha. And if you would understand it carefully, you'll see how very gradually and carefully is explaining the concept of God. At first, when you say all this is God, we think all this Namrup is God. We think the pilgrimage place is God. We think the idol is God. We think, oh, what the table and the chair and the sofa is God. The substratum, that of which it is made, that of which is its foundation is. And then we begin to think that that which is supporting just this world is God. No, no, no. The universe, the entire cosmos is just one drop in God, one drop on the face of God. God is much, much vaster than the universe. Now, if you look at the Christian concept, you will see almost exact equivalent. There is the Son, he is perishable. There is the ghost, which is the imperishable. And there is the Father in heaven beyond all of this. So everybody who found the truth found exactly the same thing. And many of them also explained it in the same way. So you see these amazing similarities. You don't bother to look at similarities because it's a waste of time. If you understand any one scripture, you've understood them all. Because nobody's saying anything different. They're all saying exactly the same thing. If at all somebody is saying something different, there are only two possibilities. Possibility number one is you are not understanding that they're saying the same thing. Possibility number two is the person hasn't yet found the ultimate truth. These are the only two possibilities. Otherwise, it should be fairly standard what anyone has to say about this. Anybody who knows the truth has to say about it. Is that clear? Any questions or are we clear about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. So then we can go to the next verse.
1 minute, Janki ji.
Yeah.
Janki ji, you remember last week I sent you one video about the Shashi Tharoor. You said there are many errors. I could not find any error in that video. Can you explain?
Sorry, but I have forgotten it. Can you tell me what he said? Are we allowed to play it?
I can play. I don't know.
No, but I don't know, Mahesh. Is that violation of copyright or something? Sometimes we're not allowed to play stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but if he can just summarize what he said, if possible, I'll be better.
Okay. Also, then we can all watch it on our. Can you post it? Is Bharat here? Bharat is not here. Mahesh?
Yes, yes.
Oh, you're
No,
here.
of course,
Okay.
I'm here.
Can you? Okay, sorry. Can you post?
Yeah, he can post on the chat, and each one will have to see it
and see?
individually.
No, which chat I cannot post. No, it is only I
Give it
can
to
read.
Bharat. You give it to Bharat. But I will have to go and get my cell phone to go and see what it was.
Okay. I'll try. Okay.
I think if it's our video, then we can play it. Is it a conversation between Jankichi and Shashi Tharoor?
Your sound is too low.
Sorry?
Your sound is too low.
Okay. Yeah. I'm saying if it is our video, the Shashi Tharoor interview with Jankichi, then we can play it.
No, it is not our video. It's just some Instagram link was there.
Then we can play it.
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
So, Miran, you can share it with Omkar.
Okay. No problem.
You have to unmute, Janki ji.
Can we stop live streaming, show it, and then continue live streaming? Is there a
No.
possibility? No.
I don't know if you can pause it, but is there a
But
pause
again,
option?
it's
No,
our
I don't
own
think
video,
so.
na?
I don't-
It's the video. I mean, it's a video of the interview with Dr. Thakur, right? So,
No, no, no.
okay.
He's independently saying it.
Janki ji, next time I will after this class I will send to Bharat or Mahesh. Next time we'll discuss.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Okay.
Momita, because we are limited by our thoughts, we can think only of the perishable and the next the imperishable that supports it. The Purushottama is understood as that which is beyond this understanding. Is that a good paraphrase? Yes. Yes, it is. There are two ways of looking at it, and your paraphrasing has put one of the ways. The two ways are as follows. One is the very concept of perishable and imperishable is a intellectual construct because our intellect can only conceive in terms of duality. There's no conception other than that. So the Purushottam as that is thus understood as that which is beyond this understanding, refers to how God is beyond the pairs of opposites. So it captures that one. There's another way you say the same thing, which is by understanding it in terms of the very vastness of it all. Okay. Where, so that you're not restricting it to that geographic location where the universe exists. So this is a very Vedantic way of saying it. Now, if you notice that other people say it in different ways, to show the all-pervading nature of God, the Puranas have given us various stories, the most famous of which is the story of
Prahlad?
Prahlad. Very good. So Prahlad was a great Vishnu Bhakt, and his father, Hiranyakashipu, hated the Lord. So he tried to remove these stupid ideas from his son's head when his son did not lose his devotion towards Vishnu, but in fact converted those who came to argue with him. Then he got very angry and he said, okay, then you have to kill this guy. He tried to kill him. He threw him from tops of mountains. He got his sister to sit in the fire and burn him. He got many, many things to be done to kill his son. But his son seemed almost imperishable. Nothing could touch him. So he was getting angrier and angrier because he was just not able to break this. And then finally, he was so angry, he was shouting at him and he said, who is this Vishnu? Where is he? So Prahlad very quietly said, he's everywhere. He is Vibhu. He's the Prabhu, he's Vibhu, he is everywhere. He is the all-pervading. So he said, what on earth are you talking about? What do you mean he's all-pervading? Is he there in this pillar? Prahlad said, yes, he's there in the pillar. Okay, then I'll break the stupid notion of yours once and for all. He picked up his mace and he banged the pillar. And then great Narasimha came with his claws and his mouth of a face of a lion. Narasimha, the lion and the man. He came out and he got hold of Hiranyakashipu who had a boon from Brahma that he cannot be killed during day or night, neither inside nor outside, not on earth and not above it, not in the antariksh, not on Prithvi. There are all these boons. So Narasimha came and placed him on the lap, sat on the, what is it called in English? On the, the lintel is above, right? What is below? Is lintel for all four sides, only
Plinth.
for the top, no? Huh?
Plinth is below, lintel
Plinth
is
is
above.
okay, thank you. Plinth, on the plinth, yes, threshold. He sat over there and used his vagnak, used his claws, because he was not going to be killed by any weapon. He was not to be killed by a god or by a demon. So he was killed by a human, sort of man-human. With his claws. He couldn't be killed by a weapon. So with his claws, he apparently tore him open. So the same concept, if you notice, that he is all pervading, and the depth of the individuality is the crossing of the pairs of opposites. Do you know how beautifully they express it, right? We Vedantins are quite boring. We just say, oh, you cross the pairs of opposite, and people go, yeah. And then when you hear, oh, he was neither in the sky nor on ground, neither in day nor on night, all this, if you hear, then you are very impressed. But what are they telling you? Beyond the pairs of opposites. So boring, no? I just killed the story for all of y'all. Instead of seeing a nice big giant coming and killing him. But if you notice all the stories, when you start looking at it from the eyes of Vedanta, it's so clearly expressing just the same notion. So here, this is a portion where a lot of people have got confused. Very many famous people have interpreted this and come up with beyond the fourth. One more thing they have thrown up in the sky. So no one more thing, is the same thing. Okay, so shall we read the verse? The concept is clear, right? Everyone, concept clear? Any questions on the concept? Why is such powerful imagery not understood figuratively as it should? Is conceptual understanding instead of literal difficult for the educated? Why such powerful imagery not understood figuratively as it should? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that, because for people who understand the truth, they understand it. So why is it not understood as it should? It is understood. The uneducated people are being communicated to by these methods. So they seem to get it in some way. I mean, I haven't had a lot of exposure to Bhakti Yoga as a path, but I have met people who have been exposed to it. And it is amazing. They say the same thing. It's really amazing. They seem to get it somehow. Now, why is it difficult for the educated? Because they're not. An educated person is a person who has actually understood conceptually. So wherever he meets the concept, he recognizes it. For instance, if you look at mathematics, you will have, condensed concepts like squared. Okay, it's a concept, x squared. So if you get what is x squared, you don't have to go on saying, oh, 2 into 2, and then 3 into 3, and then 4 into 4. You've got it conceptually. So you can have 5 billion squared. I don't know what that figure is. but conceptually you get it. So education means that you've understood that base thing. Unfortunately, today's education is not doing that. Or it's not doing it universally, or it's not focusing on it. It is more in collection of information without creating any ability by which this information is made into a whole. So we are, of course, trying to do that. Now let us see. Our first, what should I say, our first cohort of students will graduate after a year. I think we'll start the course in January, just take the stress off us. If we have the first cohort coming out by next January, we can examine and see whether we have achieved that or not.
But Janki, the bhaktas also,
Mhm.
they conceive of it quite literally, no? They see the form, no?
Mhm. It is a question of levels. The jnani makes as many mistakes as the bhakta makes.
But if I am literally thinking of God as an entity, then I'm missing the whole point, no?
Not necessarily. I mean, if you read what the bhaktas say, though they claim that he's an entity, they never deny that he's all pervading. Nobody denies he's all pervading. No bhakta denies he's all pervading. So is God with you? Their answer is always yes. Is God with me? Of course, yes. So they don't ask questions like we do, that if you have a form, how can you be all pervading? They don't do that bit of it because these questions don't occur to them. They're not that way inclined. So, but they get it that their God, who they claim to have a form, is really everywhere. So, though they seem to want to think of it as a form, they're very clear he's everywhere. They're very clear that you get what you deserve, for instance.
So they get the power structure and therefore the feeling. Correct.
They get it. I mean, they get it in a different way. They use a different equipment. They get that people will be what they will be. They get acceptance. They get it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Shall we go to the next verse? यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः यस्माक्षरम् अतीतः. Yasman means because of. Sharam atita. Sharam is the perishable. Atita, going beyond. Aham akshara api, than the akshara, than the imperishable. Cha uttamaha, higher, better. Ataha asmi. Asmi means aham asmi, understood. Ataha aham asmi, I am. Loke vede cha, in this loka means in this world. Vede means in the Vedas. Pratitha is declared to be Purushottama. Therefore, I am supposed to be the supreme being because I exceed I go beyond both the Shara and the Akshara. Therefore, the world and the Vedas know me as the Supreme Being. So, what is he trying to tell you? That Brahman is beyond our intellectual concepts. They're both intellectual concepts, Shara and Akshara. And on a wider canvas, the Lord is beyond all dvandvas. So if you get that, you begin to see God cannot be love. Because if he's infinite love, he will therefore necessarily be
Infinite hatred.
infinite hatred. If he's infinite compassion, then he will be infinite revenge. So whenever we go to the level of the self, he is beyond the dvandvas. For instance, when you go to the sun cannot understand darkness. There is no light and darkness in the sun because that pair of opposite cannot exist. So if you tell the sun, oh, have you heard of darkness? He'll say, what? What's darkness? So you say to him, okay, have you heard of light? He'll say the same thing. What is light? Because discrimination can only take place when there are two. Discrimination can never take place if there's one. And that is why it is so difficult for us to know ourselves. Because you're so one with it, you don't realize. Many people, if I ask anybody, if you ask a kind person, are you kind? They can't answer this question. Am I kind? So you say, okay, are you unkind? They can't answer that also. Both ways. If he's very unkind, he doesn't know kind and unkind. And if he's very kind also, he doesn't know. Very, very interesting how until you have discrimination, you cannot tell. Until you have two, you cannot tell. And from that, you realize how important it is to be with people better than you. Because when you are with people just like you, what will happen? There's no discrimination because there are no two things. If you're always with people lower than you, then your discrimination says, see how fantastic I am. So it's very, very important to be with people better than you, people who you think are better than you, so that you may learn, so that you may see what is wrong. If you're with somebody more clear, then you will realize the lack of clarity. If you're with somebody more precise, you will understand your lack of precision. If you're with somebody more efficient, you will see what's not efficient about you. If you're with somebody more kind, you will understand how you're not. If you see somebody who's more charitable, if you're with a person more charitable, you will see how you're not charitable. And same thing if you're with people less. So when there is no two, you can't tell the difference. You need another to tell that.
Janki ji?
Yeah, Meera?
Yeah, I was just wondering, in some other religions, they do say that God is love, God is peace, God is compassion. Is there any specific reason why they try to say that?
Yes, because God should be emulated.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
So not everybody has access to better people, right?
Okay.
So then you show the God as being this better person.
So, I mean, the pairs of opposites work here. Okay.
But not only in other religions, in Hinduism also. What is
Okay.
Rama supposed to be? राम प्रभु की भद्रता सभ्यता का ध्यान करी.
Okay.
Janki
you.
ji, even in our Vedanta classes, we say nature is kind. So it's the same, right?
If you recognize it like that, yes. Nature is very, very kind to us. Both ways is very kind. When you make a mistake, the
Yeah.
first mistake, you're not punished. You have to make a lot of mistakes. You have to eat a lot of fried food before you get to cholesterol. You have to smoke a lot of cigarettes before your lungs are ruined. You have to eat a lot of sugar before you have messed up your insulin levels. And the other way, if you do any good thing, it comes back to us with such amazing, I mean, like what happened over here? Like Bhagwan chappar faad ke deta hai, like that. So the moment you start giving, you start serving, you are able to share with others. Chappar faad ke deta hai. So very, very kind. It's called the law of harvest. Like you put in a few seeds, but what you'll get is a full harvest. Yes, so nature is kind, and when you say things like that, basically, this kind of usage is for people who are more agnostic or atheist, and they can't get with this idea of God doing this or that. So then they shift it and say nature is. In true fact, nature is neither kind nor unkind. It just is. You know, nowadays people don't like to say God gave, so the universe gave. Like, basically it's the same human tendency of, what is it called? Anthropomorphism. And am I pronouncing it right? Anthropomorphism. To be anthropomorphic means to give to inanimate objects or imaginary objects human characteristics, or even animals. So we want to make our gods like us. We want to make the animals like us. We want to make even inanimate things like us. Like nature, like universe is listening to you. Pagal hai kya? Universe has ears to listen to you? Oh, universe has given me this and that. What are you basically saying? You don't want to use the word God, so you use the word universe. After some time, people will have messed with the word universe, then they will shift it to some other word. The concept remains the same, that we need something over there, who is taking care of it. The simple law of causation is simply not satisfying. I mean, to our hearts, it's like, no, itna ye to bahut dry ho gaya. The universe is listening to me. God is listening to me. Angels are listening to me. Some people have, my ancestors are listening to me. Acha Baba, anybody listen, but do good work. Don't worry, anybody will listen. The results will come regardless of what you think it is. Okay, so I am higher than the perishable, and the imperishable can be taken as I'm above the intellectual concepts of perishable and imperishable. I'm beyond what you can understand. It is the state of, I can't even use the word unitary, because even the concept of unitary assumes the concept of duality, because there's no unitary unless there is duality. And hence, it is referred to as non-duality, because you don't want to put it into any kind of dvandva. Right? So because I'm beyond all of this, therefore, I am proclaimed in this world and in the Vedas as Purushottam. Now you may ask, why is he bothering us? Why is he sending us on this intellectual somersault? making us think he said something different. And then when you examine it, you say, no, it's the same thing. All this. The reason for this is that the most common disease on the spiritual path is complacency. And when you get complacent, you think you know everything. Sabhi pata hai. And my discrimination, fantastic. My goodness, fantastic. I am the teacher, I am the paper setter, and I am the examiner. And I have given myself best marks. So complacent about it. So this is a worst thing, a very complacent. And that is coming out of the fact that you're safe, you're happy, you feel security, you feel happiness. You don't find yourself getting worked up with too many things. It's like, we discussed the other day that the child is always, throwing a fit. Mujhe ice cream chahiye, toy chahiye, ye bahar jana hai, ye karna hai, wo karna hai. Always throwing a fit. Okay? And troubling the mother. But if the mother goes away, then none of those things matter to him anymore. He doesn't now want the toy or the whatever he wants his mother back. When his mother comes back, then what happens? Now he's ignoring her and he's going to want his toys and his ice cream and whatever he wants. Correct? So we are like that children of God. We are referred to as children of God because hai to pagal hi, as innocent and as stupid as children, we are also like that. So now, when you're on the spiritual path, you get that sense of comfort, beatitude. Sab acha chal raha hai. You're very happy with life. Of course, you're making fusses here, there, and everywhere. That is a given because that's our nature. But on the whole, satisfaction, complacency. So every once in a while, he has to remove the mother. Removing the mother means removing that sense of ab sab theek hai. So he throws one of these things in. And then when you realize you haven't got it. So now you're forced to reflect. So that's how he's breaking through that complacency. Meera, great example to understand. But even grown children behave this way. Yes, that is true. We don't understand the use of our parents, we are comfort. It is very comfortable that they are there, and you know that you can go and do anything. If the worst, for whatever reason you have to come back, that house is always there. Your parents are always there. So completely taken for granted. So exactly like that it is on the spiritual path. Completely taken for granted. Our virtue is taken for granted. Our knowledge is taken for granted. We don't see any reason to grow. After some time being with your Vedanta group is just one more entertainment. It is comfortable. We know each other. It is very comfortable. But are we really striving for anything? That day we had, we all got together. We watched this Guru Purnima lecture, Swamiji's lecture together. So everybody was in very good terms with each other. Everybody hasi mazak ye sab chal raha hai. How much time, and I'm not saying that every time you meet somebody you're striving for something, but how much of it is a strife and how much of it is simply relaxing with like-minded people. Not that you shouldn't relax with like-minded people, I'm not suggesting that. But that strife should not continue. That mumukshatva cannot come down. That desire to figure it out, to understand what is the truth. Finally, at the end of all this, I must know what the truth is. And he puts all these, little googlies inside to force us along the path. Now, even in the Keno Upanishad, you see that he has done the same thing. Remember Keno Upanishad? What did he say over there? Says, he who knows it does not know it. He who does not know it knows it. He who knows it knows it. Arey Baba, make up your mind who knows it or who doesn't know it. And so it's like you have to stop. He's challenging you. He says, they who have, you think you have experienced it, but you have not experienced it. That's how he starts chapter 2. You think you know it, but you don't know it. So that relaxation on the path is the worst thing. When you come to the path, you have to be sure you're coming here for self-purification. You have to be sure about that. Because as long as the people around you, as long as everything around you is comfortable and soothing, then you say, okay, great, we'll do this. But the moment somebody does something which is not to your taste, then you say, Baba, I don't want to be part of all this. We are not willing to face ourselves. We always believe that somebody else is at fault. Maybe they are. But if I am agitated, this is triggering something in me. However wrong the other person is. Take Ravana. He stole Sita and he ran away. Now Rama, something bad has happened to Rama, that's a given. Now Rama has to be able to see how to deal with the situation. So even if the other person is entirely in the wrong, the onus is on me to work on my self-development. Was I able to take the right decision? Did I keep myself unagitated? Was I able to handle it without stress? And if not, I have to buck myself up. There's no point repeating that person did that person did that. Okay, he did it, so what? Are you going to be at the mercy of people all the time? Somebody did something and therefore you are not doing something or doing something. Are you reactive? Or are you proactive? Are you set in your path? Or can anybody just shift you back and forth? You must realize that it's so easy to shift us. Every success makes us start running forward with enthusiasm. Every failure makes us sit down and cry with depression. Keep walking, for heaven's sake. Keep walking. So to bring that about, he tosses us these things once in a while. That you don't get complacent over it. That, okay, now I am good, you are bad, you did something horrible, I am off. No, this is complacency. Are you still on your track? Whatever you have chosen to do. Yes, this is my track. No, this is the track you took because something happened. This is not the track you chose. Verse 19. Yo mamevamasammudaha janati purushottama sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. Yo mamevamasammudaha janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. Yaha, yo is a sandhi, so the word is yaha. Yaha mam eva janati. he who knows me thus, knows me as what? Purushottama, the highest Purusha, the highest being. Asammudaha, undiluted. So think about it. Do you know Purushottama? Do you know the Lord? I'm assuming you're answering no. You're all looking at me like that, but I assume your answer is no, right? Anyone wishes to disagree with that? Yes? Mahesh, you know the Lord? Huh? Okay. Deepra?
No.
Okay. So you all are all clear that you don't know the Lord, right? It's clear. We don't know the Lord, right? Yo mam eva janati. Who knows me thus? Purushottama. As the Purushottam. Asammudaha. Such a person is undiluted. By implication, it means
Rest are all diluted.
We are deluded.
I am not saying it, please. He is saying it. He very politely has put it. We are all living in delusion. Do you think so? Any of us thinks that we are living in delusion? To know that you are deluded is itself a big step in life. How can we not get how deluded we are? And what is the delusion we are suffering from? We are completely involved in physical, emotional, intellectual matters. This is my life. I'm either thinking about something about my physical matters like money or health or something physical, or I'm thinking about my emotional matters. Oh, my family, my friends. I'm feeling so bad. I am feeling so good. I love you so much. I hate you so much. My mind is there. Or I'm thinking about intellectual matters. Oh, what did Andi Shankara say about this? What is Ramanam Maharishi saying about it? Or what is Ramanujacharya saying about it? What is Madhavacharya saying about it? Instantly involved in some intellectual analysis. That's why he says, Shankara says, Kukrun Kalni, involved in all this Panini grammar. Everything I am completely involved. I have no time to consider my spiritual path. I have no time to think about God. I have no time to understand who I am and who I am not. I mean, it's so obvious that I have to go to office every day. But is it just as obvious that I have to study every day? I feel it's perfectly all right to say, I couldn't study, I was busy at my work. But do I find it okay to say, I couldn't go to work, I was busy studying? Do I find that okay? That is not okay. But saying I couldn't study because I had to go to work, that is okay. In my mind, it's okay. It's okay for me to say I was very disturbed, so I was shouting it. So why am I supposed to take your rant because you are disturbed? We feel it's okay. So what do we do with ourselves when we cannot even recognize the problem? The problem he is referring to is how we have no concept of what in life is to be prioritized and what is not to be prioritized. We have no concept of this. And if at all some of us have it, we will prioritize something physical, something emotional, or something intellectual. And the self is always in the back seat. I will do spiritual things when I have the time. When I have the time, when I have the money, when other people agree that I should do this. One boy was telling me the other day that, yeah, I would very much love to do this course, but my parents won't allow. Very interesting concept. What is more important? Parental permission as an adult or studying Vedanta? This same thing will not bother him when he falls in love with some girl and says, I want to marry her, and his mother says no. Then parental permission is going to go out of the window. I'm not saying don't listen to your parents, for heaven's sake. The point is, what are you always prioritizing? You say, no, now I can't do it because something. I have a young child, or oh, I have this, or I have that, I have to earn money, I have to look after my children, I have to. When are you going to do it? When are you going to focus on this? When is that time coming? Do you realize that as time goes on, it will only get more complicated? It's never going to get less complicated. That's what my guru told me when I met him the first time. He said, if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. And I realized how correct that was. Because imagine, now I'm 21 years old. I just finished my graduation. I haven't actually started anything. I mean, I was starting a business, but it wasn't full-fledged yet. Now, what is going to happen further? I do start that business, or I do get married, or whatever it is I chose, whatever it is that would have been the alternative path. Would it have been easier to go and do a 3-year course at the academy? Or would it have been more difficult? So, every one of us is somewhere. And today is the day for me to commit to my growth. Because life is not going to get easier. If I am not committed to my growth, it will probably get more complicated from here on. Until you're out of life, all your abilities have gone away, and you will not be able to study this anymore. So many people come to me at an older age, and you try to explain to them, they just don't get it. I mean, the intellect is simply not sharp enough to get it. So, well, asamuraha, not deluded, who understands him as the Purushottama. At the moment, Purushottama in our life is money and family and all sorts of things. That is the Uttama Purusha in our life. But the undeluded understand the purpose of existence. We catch ourselves being focused on the bait. Is that good? Yes. Focused on it. But when you catch yourself, you have to come out. Is that good? I don't know. Is the sentence good? Yes, the sentence is good. The attitude is not. So, okay. So that's it for today. So every Sunday I tell you some update. So we're probably going to start the course in January because they haven't finished the documentation yet. We haven't finished the cabins yet. So we probably started in January. What else? What all happened, Jayashree? We did an in-house program with BPCL yesterday. And hopefully we will do more such in-house programs in various corporations and with that money, hopefully build up the cabins. What other news you have, Jayashree?
I think that's all. And we celebrated Guru Purnima.
Yes,
together.
celebrated Guru Purnima. We listened to Swamiji's wonderful lecture on the 3 yogas. Always wonderful to hear him. Okay, so that's it.